Hi, today we're talking a little bit more about how to feel someone's energy field, and you can certainly do that with your hands. Feeling an aura is not a hugely difficult thing to do. You have to be quite in a sensitive place to be able to stand next to someone and be able to feel the energy that's coming off of them. But sometimes I like to use a little trick, a little fun tool that allows us to feel that a little bit differently, to understand somebody's energy field a little bit differently. And to do that, you're going to need two hangers. So just your standard wire hangers that you would get from the dry cleaner and some wire cutters. And if you happen to have straws, just regular drinking straws, two of those would be great too. Not totally necessary, but they're quite helpful. So what we want to do to use these hangers as a sort of divining rod to be able to assist us in seeing the edge of somebody's auric space is to cut them. And you're going to want to cut one here with the wire cutters, and then you also want to cut it on this side. So right here and right there. And we're essentially taking this hook and this bar out of the hanger. So we're left with one L-shaped wire, one side and bottom. And I've already done these. I feel like one of these cooks who, on TV pull out something from the oven that's already made. This is the final result. If you can see it, it's an L-shaped wire, and I've just bent it out a little bit so it does reflect an L shape. And if you have a straw, you can attach that or just slide it onto the bottom. So you end up with a straw, an L-shaped wire, and I've got two here. And what you essentially do with these rods is you set your intention to feel the edge of somebody's energy space. And once you set that intention, what happens is your body transmits with minor muscle movements, transmits what it feels inside to your hands and then to the divining rods. So your intuitiveness or your ability to perceive somebody's energy field will be transferred and displayed essentially on these rods. So if you bear with me, I'll stand up and show you how to use them. Okay, so what we do is we just want to hold the rods very lightly, and if you have a straw, hold it very lightly by the top end of the straw and have both hands maybe a foot apart. And you want both of these rods pointing in the same direction. They do tend to somehow swing wildly if you're around electronics, which of course around my computer. But what you want to do is get them steady. Stand about 6 feet away from the person's energy field that you're trying to measure. So stand about 6 feet away from the person and begin walking slowly towards that person with the rods out directed at them. And what you will find is that when you hit the edge of their energy field, the rods will behave a little bit differently. So I'm going to kind of manually do this. You may come closer to a person and find that the rods swing in like that, or they can swing out like that, or you may get one going this way or two going that way. Basically, it's almost as if you've pushed up against a water balloon and they've splayed out or crossed. They basically are no longer going forward. And what that means is that you've hit the edge of their aura, you've hit the edge of their energy field. And most people you will find have an energy field that's roughly about 3 feet away from them. So you'll be probably close to 3 feet away from the person before you feel these things swing. What's really fun is to do a little bit of thought work with this. So ask the person that you're measuring their aura for, ask them to think about a time that they were very, very angry. And really ask them to feel into that space. So we want them to actually generate the emotions of that anger again. And as you go towards them, you'll find that something happens to their energy field. So it'll either draw in. A lot of people have a very close in kind of anger. They draw themselves in, or it will push way, way out. And you may have these rods moving at 6 feet away from them, or 5 feet away from them. Usually you can tell something about the person with that information. So if you have a person where when they get angry, their energy field goes way, way out, they're generally the type of person that you can feel their anger when they're angry very, very easily, because they're pushing it out from them, and you have a much bigger chance of noticing that and going into that angry space with them. There are people who pull anger way, way in. Those are people who you're likely to never know they're angry, and they will kind of internalize it. So you can play with anger. It's also fun to play with love. So same principle, working with somebody, ask them to feel the last time that they were very unconditionally loved, and that could be by, a grandpa or a dog or whatever it is. Just ask them to feel into that and really feel it. They can close their eyes if that helps, and stand far back from them and come at them with these things. And you'll probably find that their aura expands maybe 5-6 feet out from them. So love is nice. It usually ends up expanding farther than anger or other emotions. So generally when someone's in love, you can feel it when you're around them. So give these a go. They're a lot of fun. I think we should all play more with energy, and this is a fun way to do it. Kids are exceptional at this. Doesn't matter, as long as they're old enough to hold this, you can ask them to set an intention and watch these things go. They're a lot of fun. So give it a try, and you could certainly either write about your experiences below or send me a note. I'd love to hear about them. Have fun.